announced via social media, specifically by YouTube video. Morgan Freeman. So Earl Carter announced via a YouTube video that a certain general board member was a candidate for presiding bishop of the Church of God in Christ. And I'm not going to mention that individual's name because being official from that particular general board member confirming his intention to run for presiding bishop. So much of what Carter puts out in his videos is fiction. Most of what he puts out in his videos is fiction. So I can't really take at face value that announcement that that particular general board member is running for presiding bishop is valid. I'll wait and see if I can get an actual confirmation from the individual board member. So let me see. Having Carter speak on his behalf may hurt him. Well, let me put it like this. Anybody having Carter speak on their behalf definitely hurts them with me. And I'm certain that there are many of you who feel the same way. I could not support anybody who decides, if that's the case, to use Earl Carter as their mouthpiece. And I'm not saying that is the case. It may not be. Like I said, so much of what Earl Carter does and says is pure fiction that you can't take it at face value. But if this individual is having Earl Carter speak on their behalf, it definitely does not help him in any way, shape, or form. But as for me, my support goes unequivocally behind Bishop Charles Blake to serve another term as the presiding bishop of the Church of God in Christ. I think he's done a phenomenal job over the past 9 years that he has been presiding bishop, and he certainly has my support, and those who I have influence with, I am certainly encouraging them to support him for another term as presiding bishop as well. But the key to all of this is no one can really be a candidate for presiding bishop. Term limits, I think it's something that ought to be I think it's something that ought to be explored by the General Assembly. I think many other reformations have term limits on how long bishops can serve, and I think that's something that should be strongly considered. The key in Kojic is you've got to get on the general board before you can be a candidate for presiding bishop. And so it's presumptuous for anybody to say they are a candidate for presiding bishop because they automatically assume that they will be successful in returning to the general board. And I understand the power of incumbency, and people may feel like they're a shoo-in, but we've got new generations of people who will be voting in the General Assembly this year. It's been 4 years since the last General Assembly. We've got a